The Copenhagen Climate Summit has just finished, and it's finished in a fudge and a bad deal. President Obama got together with India and China and Brazil and cooked up a private deal that said we'll worry about keeping global warming to 2 more degrees, something which even the experts can do nothing about. You know, if you set a target for reducing emissions by a certain amount, that's measurable. If you set a target that says we'll keep global warming under control, it's meaningless. And all of the smaller countries that are affected by it have signed up to it because they've been bought off with a bit of extra cash, a bit of extra aid, which was the best that they could hope for. So what else are they going to do? So we had great hopes for President Obama, but whether that was down to his instincts or whether it was down to pressure from vested interests, who knows. But basically, even he admitted it doesn't go far enough. You could tell by the reaction of Ban Ki-moon from the United Nations that basically everyone knows it's a failure. So what can ordinary people like you and I do about it? Well, the answer is that if we depend less and less on our national grids, on the electricity that's produced by coal-fired, oil-fired, gas-powered power stations, if we rely less on nuclear power, which has the problems of getting rid of the waste and creating materials for nuclear weapons, then we can actually change things. Just as when millions of people adopt recycling, it makes a difference. If millions of people adopt renewable energy by actually installing it in their homes, by putting solar panels and wind generators on their roofs and solar powered water heaters, then if you can cut your requirement for electricity in half, and if everybody does it, then the requirement for electricity generated from those power stations is also cut in half. The number of power stations required is cut in half. It's common sense. Just as the fact that trying to predict the amount of global warming is, common sense tells us that that's not the way to go. Even with the best will in the world and the best science in the world, we can't really predict what's going to happen. But we can cut greenhouse gases. We can set logical targets for that. And all of us can do our bit. You may be worried that solar panels and wind turbines will cost you a fortune. Well, they will pay for themselves in time. But if you build your own, they'll cost you very little and they'll pay for themselves very quickly, and then you're in profit. You're in profit for all time. I mean, unless they break. Solar panels don't have moving parts and they shouldn't break. They should last a long time. Wind generators do have moving parts, they do have bearings and things, but an overhaul every so often will keep them going, and if you built it yourself, you're going to know how to do that. So what I'm asking people to do in this video is to get solar panels and wind generators up there, and if they can't afford them, to build them themselves. And plans for that are available at www.freepowerknowhow.com. That's www.freepowerknowhow.com. It's rare that doing a good deed actually saves you money, but this one will, and it'll help improve things for future generations. Global warming is, well, it's a balance. The planet is in balance, and if that balance is broken, the pendulum could swing either way. It's possible that if we have global warming, that it will affect ocean currents, and that if the Gulf Stream is shut off, that places like Great Britain and Northern Europe will get much colder, that the Arctic ice cap could actually expand instead of contract. And as every skier knows, snow and ice reflects the sun very effectively. That could lead to a new ice age. So we don't know actually the potential threat that global warming offers. If the ice melts, sea levels will rise, a lot of land will be lost, entire islands and big chunks of many countries will be lost to the sea. Species that rely on salt water will die out because of the freshwater influx into the oceans. You may not worry particularly about aquatic species, but if you eat them, if it's fish that you like, or oysters or lobsters that are affected, then it will affect you. But if there's an ice age, then that brings up another whole set of problems. So we don't know everything that's going on, and you know, that's not, common sense says that's not a reason to do nothing. If we can cut the pollution, apart from anything else, greenhouse gases destroying the ozone layer means that the sun is getting through, and there's a greater number of cases of skin cancer. So cutting pollution helps us in so many ways. Not only will it help to keep the planet in balance, but there's effects on cancer, there's effects on asthma sufferers, all sorts of things. So let's try and cut the pollution, whether our politicians have the will to do it or not. And so please consider using renewable energy in your home. You'll save a bundle of money. There's all sorts of things you can do. You know, you can teach the kids. You could create a community project. You know, building solar panels will teach children skills like soldering. So get hold of the plans, make your own solar panels, make your own wind generators. It's cheap, the parts are readily available, and you can create community projects, you know, and teach children and young people new skills. There's so many possibilities. But please, you know, adopt renewable energy for your home or your boat, anywhere that you can use it, and cut your dependence on the national grid and power generated by dirty technologies or dangerous technologies. Good luck. I hope you adopt it.